Hey y'all. I I just wanted to take a minute um and just acknowledge the the tremendous amount of gratitude I have for our law enforcement. Um I have been a huge critic of police and of just people who are in positions like that hold authority. Um But over these past few weeks, with just all the craziness that's gone on in our country and in my community, I have seen a side of the cops in this country that peop it's crazy because we get so caught up with our experiences and with just our individualism as human beings, and we forget to take a moment to just see people for who they are, if that makes sense, who they are. And we get so caught up in like what they've been through and, what their background is, but we forget to really truly see the hearts of people. Um, and this story this morning, anybody who knows me knows that gun violence, it is something I'm thankful I've never experienced it in my life. But as a future educator, as as a future parent one day, you know, this stuff is crazy. And the fact that we have people in our country who are willing to run into the danger, I don't have the courage for that. If it's my child or my niece or someone I love, sure, I'm dropping everything. But to run into the line of duty when you don't even know the person, I my heart breaks. I was reading the story of what happened to that officer last night in that California shooting. And I was thinking about the SWAT officers who were laying in the hospital still tonight from the mass shooting a couple of weeks ago here in Pittsburgh. Um and I was enraged. I'm just being quite honest about all of this. And I don't go political on my Facebook ever. It's senseless and it's disgusting how selfish we are as a country, that we have to hold on to our guns, and these innocent people who willingly protect us from ourselves run in and are sitting in a hospital right now 2 weeks after a crazy occurrence, or who are dead because they decided to protect us because we have to hold on to our daggone guns. It's ridiculous. um I encourage everyone, to pray if you believe um and you have faith in the God that we serve, because I do. um I've spent all day today really just in a place of intercession, because there are people out here who are suffering demons that are deeper than any of us alone can try to comprehend. We can blame it on mental illness. We can blame it on whatever circumstances, their home life. Again, though, we have to see people before political party, before religious background, before what they've said, what they've done, what they've thought. We have to see people as people. There are people who have hateful thoughts and hateful feelings, but I don't believe inherently that just makes them an evil, bad person. I believe we need to just pray for each other, because you and I, we are not exempt. We have our own issues, and God forbid that I get to a place or you get to a place where we just shut down and decide to blow up the whole city. It's by the grace of God that hasn't happened yet, and I speak against it now. But that's why it's so important for us to just be so deeply immersed in the Word of God, but also, again, just to intercede. So that's the first thing. But also, political activism, man. We see it in my generation, in younger generations. Like it's really like starting to get fired up, but it's deeper than just being woke. And I think that's why I don't get so quick to like hop on social media and get on the whole train, because the fact of the matter is you can be as woke as you want to be, but why are there no results, right? And so I think that I've spent a lot of time this week just thinking of things I can do to be more aware of just the political, excuse me, bills and whatever's coming down the pipeline. So making sure we're aware civically, being aware socially of the people around us, just being kind to one another. And that goes for everyone. That goes for people you don't like, bro. Like, because the fact of the matter is these people are out here, they're being crazy for some reason. And I don't just believe people just got crazy. They were just born crazy. There are circumstances and there are triggers and there are just things, whether it be chemical or whether it just be the world around them. I think of people I went to school with that just were isolated and ostracized, and I participated in that. And I think we have to do a way better job of not doing that. We can be petty, petty people. And in the middle of all of it, people are hurting and they're just alone in this. And then they lose their minds. And so oddly enough, I have a heart for that. You know, I have a heart for these people that go in and shoot up entire establishments. And of course it's heartbreaking when you read that innocent people just walked into an innocent place and died, like with no regard, thinking, oh, I'm going to die today. I don't leave my home thinking I'm going to die. And I don't think all of us have to either. And so, you know, we just need to be aware and active in our communities, being kind to one another. And then finally, we got to hold these daggone politicians to the places and the positions they were given. And that goes for both sides of the aisle. I don't care if I voted for you or not. That's the thing that I think we mess up with is, oh, our political candidate lost, so we're shutting up. And I think we have to be even louder, right? Because no matter what, people don't serve party, they serve people. That is their job. That is what our tax dollars go towards. And quite honestly, I don't care if you believe in our government or our political system or not. Because if we don't shut the hell up, then they can't go anywhere. If we are loud and proud and in charge, then they have to listen. They have to. It's the way that every political wave started, and it's how change happened, was noise from the people. These shootings, they are senseless, they are disgusting, and look, if you want to own your gun, own your gun. I know there are responsible gun owners. I know people who own guns, right? Like, and I think if you can own a gun and if it makes you feel safe at night, great. There are people who don't need to have them. There just are. And it's not even an argument. It's not an argument, and you daggone know it, and we all know it. And honestly, I would rather none of us have guns. None of us. I'm just speaking for me. And if you sit down and you think in your heart of hearts, if you sit down and you actually process and think, would I rather own a gun or watch people continue to get murdered? I guarantee if you let go of your pride, if you let go of, it's my right, you know what? We have lots of rights that, quite honestly, if we abuse them, then they need to be gone. They need to be gone because this is ridiculous. I'm going into a field where I've seen this happen too much. And if it messes up my life and my children don't get to see their mother when they come home because my behind got shot up because I'm in a school, it's ridiculous. It makes no sense that we have to have security guards with machine ammo standing outside of our schools and outside of our churches and outside of our restaurants. This isn't communist Germany. This is the United States of daggone America. And if we want to start acting like we have freedom, this is a very biblical principle too. You want to act like you have freedom, you got to walk in it. And if that means just common sense, I don't understand what the argument is. I don't. So that was a very uncharacteristic rant for me. But I think it's very important that we have these conversations and that we all realize our part in the mess that's going on in the world. I don't care what candidate you vote for. I don't care what your party is. All I want people to know and to think about is us, human to human, person to person. Let go of your preconceived notions and your preferences and just think about the lives of the people around you, because you never know. It could be you next. It could be your family next. It could be your husband next. It could be your child next. And this isn't some fear-mongering tactic, but it's the world we live in. I was literally a few blocks from that synagogue shooting. Me. And I think that woke me up to the point where I'm like, bro, I don't feel safe. In my safe neighborhood, I don't feel safe. And I think a lot of us can say that right now. They said that shooting that happened in California was in one of the safest neighborhoods. And if you know Squirrel Hill, you know that it is one of the safest neighborhoods around here. And let me tell you something, that'll make no daggone sense. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So that has been my political rant for the year. I really am just praying for our nation. There's a lot of mess going on right now. There's a lot of things I'm upset about. There's a lot of things I'm sure a lot of you are upset about and uneasy about. People would argue this is democracy. I would argue that this is the wrong route of democracy. No one should feel silenced. No one should feel unsafe in a democracy. And, you know, I'm not big on conspiracy theories or whatever, but we as people need to do better. We as Christians need to be more intentional with loving one another and being kind to one another. I'm speaking for myself as well. This isn't just me like ranting, being pissed at people, but we legit need to just be better and more intentional people, because, you know, the Great Commission was deeper than just, oh, go spread the gospel. You can tell someone about Jesus, but if you cussing them out the next day and treating them like crap, that does nothing. It does nothing to spread that same gospel. And that's a challenge for all of us, but I believe we can exhibit that kind of love and that kind of character. And why wouldn't we want to? Because that's the character and love that we get from our Savior, from Christ. And, you know, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to love and care about your enemies. It's not easy to let go of your pride and let go of, you know, whatever negative feelings and emotions and disagreements you may have. It's not easy. But I see the beauty in it, and I see the need for it today. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say. I love you guys. Shoot down any comments you may have about any of this. But do know that if you got some hateful mess to say, it's gone, because this was all in love. It was critical, but it was all in love. And there's a difference between debate and just division. And I'm not here for that. So, yeah, like I said, I love you guys. If you have anything you want me to pray for, that's another thing. Like, super random. It doesn't have to have anything to do with this. But if you've been struggling with something, or you haven't really known who to talk to about it, like, legit, shoot me a personal message, a text message, a comment. And another thing, so I started a blog post, and I was going to post it on the Saturday of the shooting. And it was almost a God thing. It was the timing that, it was God's timing that post didn't go out, and that it's shifted. So I'm kind of reworking it. Not reworking it. I have a totally different post I want to write about. And that's why I haven't posted anything. So just a heads up, if you've been following my blog at all. I've seen a lot of traction, and thanks so much for supporting. And I hope it's been blessing you guys. It's been blessing me. But yeah, I love you guys. Night.